It has been weeks since I got a race as good as this one. My opponent's in the 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera, and I'm sitting on the 2008 Honda Civic. I recently made some changes to my whip so it's front wheel drive and we don't get the best launches out of it, but this bad boy starts pulling once we're in third gear. This is round 3 of our championship. We're at Mount Haruna. I won the first round by just under 4 seconds at Norikura Skyline. My opponent won the second round by just under 1 second at Hakone Nanamagari. And given that Mount Haruna's got a pretty good mix of both of those tracks in it, this should turn out to be a pretty close race. Already you can see I've caught back up to my opponent and I'm on that booty after turn 1. As we head into the next corner, I see my opponent goes wide of the apex, so I get ready to switch back. And this got to be the most beautifully timed switchback I've ever pulled off. If you were watching that radar, the bumper clearance was barely anything. But my opponent's got that acceleration, so he's gonna make it to the next corner before I do. Meaning I gotta brake early and try to switch back in hopes that he washes wide onto the grass, but he does not do that. He keeps it on the track. I get on my brakes a little bit later and attack the apex right next to my opponent. We're side by side and I'm loving the action so far. He's gonna beat me to the next corner and go a little wide. I'm gonna attempt another switchback, but he's able to cover down and I eat a little bit of barrier. If I had just stayed behind him and not taken any of that barrier to my front grille, I probably would have beat him to the next corner. But as it stands right now, he's gonna beat me to the next corner, so I'm gonna have to follow him through once again. I get on my brakes early, as I tend to do, and my opponent loses the back end of his car and starts washing wide, leaving the inside open for attack. We're side by side again. I just barely grab the checkpoint and skim the telephone pole to gain an advantage on my opponent. I am ahead now, but with these twisties, I'm not safe. He's got the acceleration and my car really does a lot better in a straight line than it does going left and right repeatedly. If you watch that controller cam, I'm having to feather the hell out of the gas pedal to keep from washing wide with understeer. I missed the apex anyways, and my opponent is side by side with me once again. And because he has the inside, I gotta leave it a space for him. Always, you have to leave it a space. I take a straight line through the grass, just barely missing a telephone pole, really opening this bad boy up down a straightaway. This section we're going through right now is definitely single file, and I wanted to be there first. If you try to go double file through that fast section or even tap the inside wall, you're gonna get launched off the cliff and you're gonna end up back on the track down by the next checkpoint. And it looks hilarious for the person that did not clip the inside wall. Anybody that backs out after that, I don't blame you. So far, this race has been excellent and competitive. And if my driving looks a bit nervous, it's because I made a lot of changes to this vehicle. And one of the key changes is I went down from race brakes to sport brakes. Because why the hell am I running race brakes in B class? I don't know. I also removed the race transmission and put it back to a stock transmission because I'm running manual clutch. And when you're running manual clutch, that race transmission is nothing but wasted PI. Having said that though, I'm probably going to upgrade the transmission back to a sport transmission, not a race transmission, just so I can get the final drive tuning. Because first and second gear seem entirely too short for me. Like for these hairpins I'm going through, I'm having to drop down in the second and the first gear, and I'm having to switch back into third gear before I even make it all the way through my corner exit. Very inefficient performance. So we're gonna slap the sport transmission back in there, tune that final drive back towards some speed, and get a lot more use out of first and second gear, because right now all they do is spin. If you've been paying attention, you see my opponent is now back on my ass after coming through those hairpins. So there's your live demonstration of why I need to sort out the gearing on this car. It could just help my hairpin performance a lot. I throw up the GGs to my opponent because a performance like that deserves the credit. Very clean, very tidy. Anyways, y'all, that's the race. Very close, very competitive. The best race I've had in a couple weeks.